Hey, welcome back, friends, and welcome to episode 15 of my Ultimate Ironman series. Just wanted to bring in with Fairy Tale Part 1. This is obviously the first step to actually getting the fairy rings. The reason why I want to do this mainly is for Slayer, but I figured having Slayer, having the fairy rings accessible without the Drum staff is probably a really good idea. Otherwise, I have to keep the Drum staff on me at all times, or I have to constantly be going to death to get rid of all my items, to go back to Entra to get the Drum staff before I can come here for a Slayer task. So obviously that's really convoluted and everything, so I'm just going to go ahead and grind out to Fairy Tale Part 3 and start out this episode with a couple of quests. Unfortunately, I'm actually a couple of Herblore levels short of being able to start Fairy Tale Part 2. But one good thing is that I'm getting pretty close to level 60 Slayer to get Aberrant Spectres, and I heard the Aberrant Spectres are really good for herbs. So I may be just grinding up a little bit of Herblore experience once I get to 60 Slayer for the Aberrant Spectres. I'm not 100% sure how fast the Aberrant Spectres are going to be Herblore XP per hour. I know that there's another option, the Chaos Dwarves. I'll look into both of those, see which one is actually going to be better. But first off, I'm going to grind up to 60 Slayer, and that way I have the requirement for either of those options. I just completed my 44th task on the way to getting 60 Slayer. I'm pretty close to it right now, only a couple thousand experience off. You can see right here, 2.5 thousand experience off. But what it does mean is I am up to 300 Slayer points. So I'm going to jump right back over to a Slayer Master and buy myself the ability to fletch broad arrows and bolts. This is the whole reason why I was doing this in the first place. Basically, it is so that I can use these broad arrowheads that I've been collecting to get some fletching experience. I think I need 67 fletching if I am not mistaken. Looks like it's actually 70. So I need 487,000 experience in fletching. Not sure how many broad arrowheads that it's going to be and how low my money pouch is going to be at the end of that, but I'll slowly start doing that along with the watermelons that I have been farming up for the last couple episodes. Starting to get my fletching experience now that I actually have made enough headless arrows and have the broad bolt tips already in my inventory. First things first, it does take quite some time to actually make all these headless arrows, so you do have to take that time into consideration. But I believe that when I was doing it on my regular Ironman account, I figured out that this is actually slightly more efficient than if I had maple logs in my inventory or in my bank. So this means it's going to be for sure the best way of doing it for an Ultimate Ironman, assuming that I can get enough feathers and broad arrowheads for the time being at least. One bad thing about this is that I have nothing to do with these broad arrows, and I can't just throw them in my bank, so I don't think I want to go past the 70 fletching. I probably want to get right up to 70, and then once I get Invention, I can actually start disassembling them. That's basically the only use for broad arrows. Actually, they're level 50. They might be a decent option for range if I can get a level 50 bow. I think that's magic, though, so it's probably not happening. We'll see what we want to do with that, though. So just made my way to 60 Slayer. I actually managed to do it from doing a challenge from Childar. It's like 10,000 experience for really quick challenge. So Childar's challenge is definitely worth doing. But 60 Slayer here, which means I have the access to Aberrant Spectres. Thinking about just starting to grind up to 57 Herblore, see if that's really possible. Do want to get a couple of herb seeds before I start doing any more farming runs, because that way I can have herb runs along with my farming runs. But let's go ahead and start grinding them out. So tried out a bit of Aberrant Spectres, maybe spent about an hour on Herblore, and only up to 52 Herblore. Got less than a level essentially. I basically had to drop a couple of these potions, or a couple of the herbs. I don't have any Lantitime, Catantine, Quarm, and Dwarfeed. I can't do anything with them at my current level. So I feel like that's something I may want to come back to in the future. Oh, and one of the things is they don't drop any seeds at all. So yeah, that means it's even worse than I thought it was. So I may come back to them in the future, but for right now, we'll just skip over them. If I happen to get a task of them, then I'll utilize the task, but besides that, I'm just going to keep doing Slayer until I get up to the desired Slayer level. Getting 65 fletching right now. This is really fast once you get all the materials needed, so I understand why people do this all the time. That being said, it does take a long time to actually make all the headless arrows and the broad arrowheads. I believe that I should have enough feathers in 2 days to actually get up to 70, assuming that I did my math right, and I know that I suck at math a lot of the times. But I should have enough for 70 in 2 days worth of collecting feathers. 1 day more of collecting broad arrowheads. So I'm not sure if it's going to be part of this episode, but might be getting up to 70 here pretty soon. And level 60 farming also coming in. That's one of those other levels that I've been slowly working on throughout the entire week. Just making sure to get at least 1 or 2 things planted a day. But one thing I do want to mention, first off, I do have access to Livid Farm, so that's a way of grinding out farming if I actually get Lunar Diplomacy done. I do want to mention, though, that I am getting low on watermelon seeds, only 162 left. That may be an issue here soon because from all the Slayer that I'm doing, I'm not actually getting as many seeds as I was expecting to get. I was expecting to get at least some herb seeds. That just isn't happening. And then I was expecting to get a couple of tree seeds that may have been semi-good. I haven't gotten anything yet, and nothing worth picking up. So that's going to be an issue. I may have to end up going back and doing some more watermelon seeds at temple trekking. I would like to avoid that if I can, but may end up being a foregone conclusion just to get up to level 63 farming. Just got level 44 summoning. I was getting pretty close to a good combat level, so I decided to just do some summoning training with all of the charms that I've been getting. And you'll see right here, I got 90 combat. That means that I actually don't have to keep going back to Xanaris to keep getting tasks. The reason why I decided to do this is because I'm on task 49, and I wanted to get a couple extra Slayer points for the 50th task because it's a pretty big boost. I forget exactly how much. I think it's like 10 or 20 times the Slayer points. So like a 2 or 3 Slayer point increase is actually going to make a huge difference by using Sumona instead of Chalder, or however the heck you pronounce her name. I have been doing honey badgers. Wanted to wait till Pyrofiends, but I'm not even close to Pyrofiends. So I'm just using whatever summoning charms I can to do whatever I can. But 90 summoning, so let's go ahead and do that 50th task. Just completed the 50th task. That gave me 180 Slayer points. So it was definitely worth doing this. I think I got an extra 30 Slayer points. So that would have been 3 extra tasks that I would have had to do for those. It also gets me closer to the 400 mark. 400 is when I can start like putting Charming Imps and stuff on my Slayer belt. And that's going to be extremely useful, obviously, for an Ultimate Ironman because less inventory spaces that I need to basically waste, the better. Just getting 70 defense right now. Those things have been scrolling around for the last couple of seconds, but let's go ahead and check out all the things that we can get for defense. Got all of the different Barrows armor sets. None of these are really going to be achievable for me because obviously it takes a while to get Barrows. Bandos, Armadillo, Blessed Spirit Shield. Again, these are all really hard to get. Obviously you do have the Dungeoneering different armors. Those may be doable. What else? I think that's literally it. Crystal armor may be doable as well. What I'm really going for right now is 75 defense because once I get 75 defense, then the War Priest will actually get up to tier 60 armor essentially. It goes up to tier 75 hybrid armor, but that would be tier 60 armor for a set style. And because it would be tier 60 set style, I can also use it for ranged or melee whenever I want to. And on top of all of that, it is actually depositable into your player-owned house. Then in the wardrobe, you can actually put a full set of War Priests. So I'm probably going to go for Tuska War Priest once I get to level 75 defense. That probably won't be happening right now. I'm hoping to get up to 63 Slayer before that happens, but for right now, just constantly grinding, keep the Slayer grind going. And we will finish up this episode with level 70 Fletching. I'm kind of just running out of time to actually record this episode. So this is about where I want to finish off. Obviously, that is one of the requirements for Branches of Darkmire, so we're getting much, much closer to that. I am at level 62 Slayer and level 61 Farming, which, if you check the guide right here, I need 63 Farming and 67 Slayer. That means I'm 5 Slayer levels off and 2 Farming levels off. I definitely do not have enough watermelon seeds to get up to level 73 Farming, but that hopefully something will be coming of Slayer. I doesn't actually look like Slayer is going to be getting me any seeds, so I may have to go run and grab some more watermelon seeds before I'm done with anything else. 76 wood cutting, I can just do that whenever I want. Cut some acacia logs in Menaphos and get some fire making experience in that. 64 crafting, I'm extremely close to that. 62 crafting right now. Probably as soon as I go and do some dungeoneering, I'll get up to 64 crafting pretty easily. And of course, I need to do many, many quests in order to do the Legends quest, and the Legacy of the Series is just completing the one quest. I'm just avoiding doing that right now because I don't want to have any Firewatch on my temple trekking. So for right now, we are avoiding that quest, and Legends quest is something that will be coming in the future. It's pretty good progress this episode, though. I'm pretty happy with where we got to. If you guys are enjoying this series, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Also, hit the subscribe button so you can see all my future content. Also, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to do next. As always, though, have a good one.